Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is my decluttering series for 2024. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be 1 out of 5 different declutters that I have for you this year to clear out my makeup collection. And I know that everybody just likes to have a nosy around, so there's that as well. If you're looking for swatches, I swatched out most of my makeup collection in February, so make sure to link you to those videos down below so that you can have a peek. I have reviews up with most of these products over on the blog, or either here on the channel. So there's lots of other content that you can find where you can find, like if you're interested in looking these up. I will also have some links in the description box in case you are interested in purchasing in any of these products if they are still around, because I am part of an affiliate link program and I do have an affiliate link for most of these products as well. Just to be fully transparent here. The reason why I'm keeping the same intro around is because I always need to get a couple of things out of the way before I show you my makeup collection and before I film declutters. Please know that just because I'm decluttering my makeup collection doesn't mean you have to. I will try to rehome as many products as possible, especially if they're still really good condition. If I've only used them once or twice, they're definitely going to go to friends and family. I have a bunch of colleagues who are looking for makeup apparently, so that's where most of it is going to go probably. However, I also get rid of things because they are old or because formulas have separated or whatever. So there are also going to be a lot of things that I simply cannot pass on to people because it's just gotten to that point where I'm like, I've used this a lot. I've been into that with my finger a lot, or if it's like a product, like a lip product with a doe foot applicator, I don't necessarily feel comfortable passing that on to anyone. Please also know that just because I declutter something and it's not my favorite, that doesn't mean that it cannot be yours. I also want you to bear in mind that I do film regular content on this channel and that I have been a makeup reviewer for years. So there are a lot of products that I get to review that I kind of know in advance might not work for me. I know sometimes people feel like, why do you keep buying products by brand XYZ? Because all you do is declutter them again. I buy things to review, and that does mean that I sometimes will hang on to things because I want to keep it around to be able to film content with it. But it also means that I sometimes get rid of things because if I've bought an entire shade range of lipsticks, those aren't necessarily all going to be perfect for me, but I will keep around the 1 or 2 shades that worked for me really, really well. And those are the things that end up going into my actual makeup collection. It's just a great way to, have an overview again and clear out my makeup collection and just have it be ready for the new year. And for those people who might be new here, then it may be good to know who you're actually watching. My name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and I have been making content for a very, very long time. My content is mainly focused around eyeshadow palettes, Estee and Catrice, but I also really enjoy getting the use out of my makeup, so I do like to do series where I go back to older products, where, I shop my stash and not only focus on the new. So if that's something you're interested in, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. Welcome to declutter number 1. This is going to be base products, so foundation, concealer, powder, primers, and setting sprays. That's what I have in store for you. So let me clear some room so that you can see really nicely what I've got going on. And I am starting things off with setting spray. I currently only have 2 setting sprays in my makeup collection, which is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, a full bottle, and the one that's in my Shop My Stash. This is one of my favorite setting sprays, so that's why I only have one. I don't keep around too many of these because I like to use them up before I move on to anything else. Step 2 are my primers, and these are, some of them I know I can get rid of, or I want to keep them around for a video purpose, but then they will be gone. That's something I've been saying about the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a while now. I decluttered this last year, gave it away to someone, and then had to ask for it back because we have some dupes for this, but I like this only as a primer, and the other products work better for me as an actual foundation, and one thing is completely new that I still need to test out, so I cannot get rid of this because I need to keep it around for video purposes, for comparisons, but I don't have any use for keeping this in my regular makeup collection. I will be decluttering the Endless Pearls from Catrice. This is a primer that they did in the past as part of their Disney Villains collection. And I think I actually used it up then. So I have no need to be using it again. They've kept the bottle the same. The only thing that's different is the sticker. So yeah, if you have the Disney Villains one, then there's no need to keep this something like this around. But they started releasing this as part of their regular line, so this is a definite declutter. Very new to me is the Essence Jelly Grip. I've only filmed with it once. It seemed to be okay for now, but I need to compare it, of course, to the e.l.f., the Power Grip Primer, and ideally also the Milk. But the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer I actually used up last year, so I no longer have that in my collection. That's one of my favorites. This one broke me out though. As in, it gave me an allergic reaction. So I didn't like it for that reason. It made my face really red and itchy. This didn't have that effect, so this may be a better dupe for me than this one is. But yeah, the Milk Makeup, I have to sort of compare these two for sure. And primer is another one of those categories where I like to use things up before I go back to them. We have the Beauty Flash from Kruidvat, which is very similar to the MAC Stroke Cream, but as you can see, this is almost gone. So when it is gone, I will be using this. This is new from Catrice. This is the Skin Glazed Hydrating Serum Primer. This felt very pleasant on the face, but again, I have yet to review it. And then I have what's going on into these cubbies, so let me show you those. So here are the primers that were in the cubbies, and here I think I need to get rid of a few because I will not be able to use all of this up. But there's also some that I really, really adore that I don't want to get rid of. Said MAC Stroke Cream, I just mentioned it as being similar to the one from Kruidvat. But yeah, I bought this in a full size after going through 2 travel sizes, so this is one I would like to get to at some point. This one can now go. This is the Glowifier from Catrice. They have now replaced it with, where did I put it? Where did it go? They have since replaced it with this, the Soft Glam Filter Fluid. This is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and I can wear that as a foundation. This is just a little bit too shimmering for my liking, but it was very similar to the e.l.f. Halo Glow. Also, the shade is a little bit deeper than the one from the newer line that I have, so that one can go. Ooh, this is difficult because I like all of these products. Like, let me put them a little bit more front and center. This is actually a repurchase, this Catrice primer. The Anti-Redness Serum. This was what I deemed to be like a Milk Hydro Grip kind of dupe until Essence did the Jelly Grip one. This is really nice. I went through one of these and repurchased it. This is no longer available though. And since Essence and Catrice bring out so many new primers all the time, I don't feel the need to be hanging on to this. So this is unused, unopened. I can very easily give this away to someone else. Then I don't think I need to have 2 of these K-Beauty bases. So what in K-Beauty is really hot and happening is products like this where you have a like skincare-like primery kind of thing, and then it has a lot of glow and a lot of SPF. I like the Heimish Artless Glow Base better than I did the Power Block from Estee, so I'm going to be keeping the Heimish, and I'm going to be decluttering the Estee. The Heimish one, I think I either got it as a freebie as a gift with purchase, or it was part of the YESSTYLE influencer program that I'm a part of. And these, ideally, I'd want to keep. I'd want to keep all of these because I really like them. But I also feel there are too many similarities. And I have to say, because I try so much Essence and Catrice and I just use those up until they're gone if I like them enough, I don't really get around to using these things. So the NYX Honey Do Me Up is one I bought for a full face of NYX. And I did really enjoy this primer. I really enjoy the way it works. But I don't really see myself reaching for this a lot, because I have those 2 new things from Essence and Catrice now, so I first need to go through those before I ever get to any of the other things. So, do I want to keep this? Yes or no? I did really like it. I don't love the spatula, though. I don't love the fact that it has a spatula, so maybe this can be another thing I can gift. I have loads of colleagues who have been asking me for makeup advice. Trying a primer may be something they might be interested in. Then I have this pink, like these are all glowy bases, essentially. That's what we're dealing with here. I've got the Glossier Future Dew, the Kosas Glow IV, the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow Serum and in Rose, the rosy shade. And then I have the Giorgio Armani. And this I still really love. This is the kind of glow I really like. This just makes you look like you've got oil over your face, but I like that look. So that can stay. And I also really like the Kosas Glow IV, which again, a lot of people didn't love, but this I can like wear by itself on a good skin day, and I really like it. You can see I've used it quite a bit because it's gone down. I've kept the Giorgio Armani because it's light pink. And I think with the Lisa Eldridge, I really like the product, but I should have gotten this in the light pink shade. However, I bought this before the light pink shade was ever out. Like it wasn't around. So this is actually a little bit too dark for me, which is why it doesn't work for me as like a highlighter thing. So I think because it's too dark, I can very easily buy the lighter shade and have that. So I'm going to be decluttering this one. Again, very lightly used, so I don't mind giving that away to someone else. And this was really pretty, the Fluid Sheer Glow Enhancer from Giorgio Armani. But if I buy the Lisa Eldridge one in a lighter shade, I would no longer have any use for this. And it's very similar to something like the Heimish Glow Base as well, so I don't think I need to keep this one either. So I started off with 16 primers. I'm keeping 9. I'm getting rid of 7, which is pretty much halved, because 2 of those 9 primers I'm keeping are just there for video purposes. I'm literally only keeping them around so I can film with them. I won't be using those on my face, so I think that's a pretty good number. So this is now primers. This one is almost gone. This is going to be the next one I'm moving on to. And then these can go into a box that stay outside of my collection to just have them on hand. Next up are powders. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. This is the one that's currently in my Shop My Stash. It's by Etude House. It's their Secret Beam powder. This is really pretty. It's very hourglass-esque. And that's why I like it, so that's why I've been using it. Used to have an embossing. It's going to take me ages to use this up. I've got pretty dry skin, so powder and me, we're not the best of friends, so this is nice. But I can definitely get rid of some of these. I know I won't be able to get to this in time before because I tend to, again, use up a powder and then move on to the next thing. So by the time I've used that up enough that I feel I can move on to something else, I'm just not going to be interested in this anymore. This is the Need No More Prime Color Finish Powder Foundation from Kruidvat. This is in the shade Fair Blush. I mean, it's got a good shade for me, but it is also a powder foundation, which is what I don't like with my dry skin, so that can go. I've kept the Fenty Beauty around because I wanted to have a loose powder, and this is one of my favorite loose powders. It's really good. I got it in a small size. This is the shade Butter. Again, just to have it around, I'm going to keep it in. And I really want to keep my Kosas powder as well. This is the Cloud Set in the shade Airy. I got this fairly recently, and if I'm using up the Etude House, this is the one I want to use next. Which also means I need to get rid of some of these things. This is too mattifying for me. This is from Fluorosis. The packaging is absolutely stunning. It twists, and then it's got the puff, and then it has a mesh inside that allows you to get to the product. So super clean, super easy to use. I use this on my neighbor. I may be doing her makeup for her wedding day. So yeah, I was using this powder on her because she wanted a very mattifying look, and I find this too mattifying for myself. So I may just gift this to her so that she has it on hand for the big day. And that was sent to me in PR, by the way. I didn't buy that myself. Something I also want to keep is this, the Essence Skin Loving Sensitive Mineral Powder. I think they have discontinued this. I still have 2 of these in backup. I panic bought these the first time round when it seemed as if they were going to discontinue this. Because this is one of my favorite drugstore powders. I feel texture-wise it's the same as the Charlotte Tilbury powder. So it only comes in 1 shade though, but this shade works for me quite well. I like a powder that has a slight yellow tint to really bring everything together. But that means I think I can get rid of this one from Catrice, even though this is fairly new. This is the Soft Gun Filter Powder. I may keep it in a box somewhere so that I always have a Catrice powder around, because I tend to do regular Essence and Catrice videos, so I like to have a full face makeup with them on hand. So I'm going to put it in a box to have it somewhere, but it's not going to be in my actual collection. And then I just have 2 Kiko powders left. I have the color correcting one, which has the fun little colors, and I have the universal veil. And a similar thing here. This is far more mattifying than this is. This has a bit more glow. This is that hourglass ambient lighting powder kind of thing that I love. I used up my Kiko powder in the Radiant Fusion line last year. I absolutely adored it. And I say hourglass and I'm like, oh wait, I still have these travel sizes somewhere in my makeup collection. So that includes 2 travel size powders and a travel size of the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray and a strobe cream from MAC. So these are both gonna stay. But of these minis, I think I can get rid of the NYX because this is also a little bit drying for me. So that can be passed on to someone else. I've barely used it. And I'm going to be using, passing on this Kiko powder because I also find it a little bit drying. I'd much rather use something like this. And I was talking about Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. I just have the mini to have it on hand for comparisons like this and to have a travel powder. So this is going to be my travel powder of choice. And then I'm going to be keeping the Kiko. So I'm going to be keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 powders, and I'm getting rid of 1. Like, this is what I'm keeping, and these I'm getting rid of, which is another 5. And then I have my little hourglass. So 6 powders that I'm keeping, 1 loose powder, and then 5 that I'm getting rid of, which I think is a really good number. And these are all of my concealers. And ideally, I want to get rid of enough so I can fit all of my concealers into these 2 cubbies again and not have it be this like overflow sort of situation. So let me lay it all out for you so you can have a look. Okay, so this is everything. I know I can get rid of this. This is the Conceal Like a Pro from Essence. This came out last year. And I decided to buy this to have a Essence concealer for that full face makeup look I was doing. These things are always off because they don't really go with my undertone. So the peach one in here is too dark. The green one was too intense. Like, it just didn't quite work. But maybe some people who I know might like this color correction kind of thing. That might work. And then I have this really old guy. This is the NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer. This is really pretty. I did really enjoy it. But I have so many other potted things that I like better than I do this by now, that are far creamier and not as mattifying. And this is just old, so this needs to go into the trash. I will be decluttering this, the Bright Eyes Under Eye Stick from Essence. This is not good. It's far too thick and cakey and heavy on my under eye area. This will work great for you if you have like early teens, like 20s skin, but for my nearly 40-year-old skin, this is far too thick. So not good for that reason. And then we just have a lot of like standard concealers. I do have one under eye brightener, so I would like to keep that. In terms of color correction, this like peachy pink works really well, but I can't find this shade anymore. They only seem to be doing the more warm toned one now, over here anyway. So if this, especially if this is discontinued, I kept this last year over my Charlotte Tilbury one. And then I have a straight up peachy tone from Peri Para, and I keep this around because this peach tone works for me quite well, and I don't want to have to go searching for something else, even though this has been discontinued. And we'll just get to these like potted things. I like all 3 of these. I like all of them. The RMS Beauty is a little bit dark, but I love the formula, so I want to keep it. It's like my version of, like the new version of the NARS one, which is also a bit too yellow for me. But with that one, I can forego color correction. I like this REM one. This is currently in my Shop My Stash. I'm using this for the first time, like to really test it out. Very often when I get new products in, I will like put them on my face once or twice, but I don't feel I've tried something unless it's been in a Shop My Stash, you could say. The Glossier one, which I really need the peach corrector with, because this by itself doesn't do enough. And then we just have a load of like other things. And I know, even though I'm keeping the corrector version of this, the concealer version of the Peri Para needs to go, because I know there is another Peri Para concealer in here. And in February, I swatched out all of my concealers, and I felt the newer one I have from Peri Para is this concealer, but in different packaging. So I'm just going to keep one peri-pera and then I'm good to go, even though the packaging of this is just too cute. Another thing that I know I can get rid of, but again, I need to keep this for my neighbor because this is the concealer we used on her. This is by Rose Inc. It's in shade LX030, and this is too dark for me. It's too cakey and heavy, so that's why I will be using it on her. But after that, I'm just going to gift it to her, I think. Then things I love. It's Tower 28. This is currently in my Shop My Stash. You can see I've used this a lot. You can already see a dent in this, so using this one up as we speak. I also really enjoy the Kosas, the Revealer Concealer. This I like as well, so that's an easy keep. I love my Charlotte Tilbury one. Really enjoy that one. This is the Beautiful Skin one in Fair. And I have what I consider to be a dupe by Makeup Revolution. This is the Ultimate Radiant Under Eye Concealer in shade C3, but this oxidizes really weirdly on me, where the Charlotte Tilbury one doesn't do it. However, I still have this idea of like doing a series of shorts again with products that I feel are similar, so this needs to go into a section of my makeup collection where I can keep products around for comparison. So that's where that's gonna go, but it's essentially decluttered. And here's the peri-pera one that I was mentioning. This is the Double Longwear Concealer. This is really nice. It's similar in texture and shade to the ink corrector that I used to own. So that can go in the keep pile. This one I'm going to declutter. This is the H&M Cover Up Concealer in shade Ivory. This was nice, but I had forgotten I owned this, so this can go. I'm going to get rid of this Kiko concealer. This is from a limited edition collection that they did years ago, and I have other Kiko concealers I like better. This MAC one I'm going to declutter. I use this quite a bit. It's in the shade NW15, and this is the Studio Fix 24-Hour Smooth Wear Concealer. I used it for a month straight, liked it, but again, like with the Rose Ink, this is a little bit too heavy for me, so didn't love that. Love the Rare Beauty. I know not everybody does, but I like these lighter weight things for my under eye area. This is very similar to the Glossier, but in a like doe food applicator style product. I really enjoy the Tip Concealer Cover Perfection. I got this in a different shade, 0.5. The one I used to own was too dark, but this is spot on. So liking that one. And then we also have a bunch of things here that I haven't tried much yet. Have this one from Catrice, the Cover and Care, to have a Catrice concealer in the mix. I don't like what they do in their current range. It's not great for my dry under eyes, so that's why I keep this one around. But this, again, just needs to go into a box. I don't need to keep it in my everyday makeup collection. This one I'm going to declutter. This is the Kruidvat Stay With Me concealer. This oxidizes on me into a very pink shade as well. I thought it was going to be nice because it has a pinky undertone, but it looks orange once it's dried down and it's far too dark. This is one of the Kiko concealers I would like to keep around. I'm not sure how much I'm liking this one yet because I haven't reviewed it. By the way, the Kruidvat one still needs to go into a review video, come to think of it. We have the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. This is too dark for me. I can only use this in the summertime. There is apparently a shade down. I have shade 1N, and this comes with heaps of product, but over here, the shade 0N doesn't seem to exist, even though it should exist. I haven't been able to find it anywhere, especially not in stores, so I haven't been able to swatch it. As much as I like the formula of this, I know I won't use it up. I would much rather try to hunt down the 0N version and see if that's my shade, because I am 0N in a lot of their foundations. So this sadly needs to go because it's just too dark. The Kiko concealer I also want to keep is the Skin Correct, I think, Skin Tone Concealer in shade 2. Loving that one. I want to keep my Essence one around. This is one of my all-time favorite concealers, the Stay All Day 16 Hour, but it's been renamed to the Stay All Day 14 Hour, and it comes in more shades now because this only used to come in 2, and now they do 5, I think, which is marginally better. NYX Bear With Me is another one that I still need to put in a video, but I really didn't like this. I get way too much product because of the pump, and I only use the littlest amount of concealer I can possibly use, because else it just doesn't look right on my skin's texture. So that's why the Bear With Me was just a waste of product, and I would much rather pass this on. Then we have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which I think I have yet to review, so that's an easy keep. I have the Eveline Cosmetics Wonder Match Lumi. This is a Polish-based drugstore brand, and I haven't tried this one yet. Same for the Lumine. This is a Finnish brand. Their Blur Concealer I haven't used as well. This one I remember using a few times, but I haven't really reviewed it yet. So the Maybelline Superstay needs to stay. The Natasha Denona High Glam is not going anywhere because I've yet to review it. Same for the Gucci. This is their concealer, which I've also yet to review. This one, again, I would like to get rid of. I still need to put it in like a roundup concealer review that I'm working on. Milk Makeup, I haven't yet to review. What's this called again? Something like Future something. It's a really pretty shade. I did like it. The Nabla I've kept around for years because it is the only one that I use when I want to do a cut crease. How often do I do a cut crease, you might ask? Very rarely. So I have plenty of other concealers. I don't need to keep this around for sure. So that is another declutter. So I'm getting rid of 15 concealers, and I'm keeping 21. So that's, again, like roughly like a third of it gone, which I'm very happy with. Alright, so these are all of my foundations and BB creams and skin tints and all of that jazz. There's a lot here, so let me just race through it. Everything that's like lying off to the side that's not in the cubby are generally my newest things, but I know there are things here that I can get rid of. So now we have a little bit of space so we can talk about things. Let me show you something I know I can get rid of, which is the Super Dewy from Makeup Revolution. This was just not as advertised. It's called a skin tint, and it says that it's a tinted moisturizer. This is a medium to full coverage mousse-like foundation. Did not work on my dry skin. I had not really looked at reviews going into this for a full face makeup look for Makeup Revolution. Maybe I should have, but I tend to buy products that sound interesting to me based on the swatches I can find online. I tend to not watch a lot of makeup reviews anymore myself, just to not be too biased and not be influenced by other people's information. And that means you sometimes make a boo-boo like this one. Another thing I'm going to get rid of is the Tinted Hydrator from Wet n Wild. This is too dark for me. This is in the lightest shade I could get my hands on. There are apparently lighter shades in the US, but I don't live in the US, so I can't buy those. So this was nice texture-wise. I think it's a really nice, affordable, skin tint-like product. The formula was great, but it's far too dark, and this was still sitting in a separate box somewhere because I wanted to film a video with it last year, and then I filmed that video. I never got rid of it. Let's tackle this family. So I already showed you when I was talking about my primers, the Charlotte Tilbury one against the Catrice one, but of course we have the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This now comes in lighter shades, so technically, like, a part of me wants to buy that, but I just keep this one around for swatches. The e.l.f. ones are far darker, and I feel that the Catrice one is far better at being very close to the texture of the Charlotte Tilbury. So in terms of dupes, not only is this more affordable, I feel it's better. Came out in 8 shades. I like this enough. I can wear this by itself with just a bit of concealer on a good skin day. So this is the one I want to keep for myself. This one I'm going to put in my cubby of products I have for videos, kind of thing. And this is the new one from Essence that I've only used once as a highlighter. I haven't tested it out yet. This says that it can do what the Catrice one can do as well, where it's like a 3-in-1, but I still have to test that out. So this is a definite keep because I'm still reviewing this. I have the aim of using up 2 to 3 foundations this year, and this is one of the ones I would like to use up. So the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydrarescue is not going anywhere. These 2 things are currently in my Shop My Stash. I'm still reviewing them. I want to do like another foundations I've tried sort of overview once I've tried 10 new to me foundations. Still doing that. I test out a lot of foundations for the blog, and then I do a roundup video whenever I do that sort of thing. I have the Glossier Stretch Foundation, which is sadly too dark, but I can make it work. And I definitely think that if I go back to this in like the summertime, it's going to be the right shade for me. Bought it online, so definitely a struggle. This is from the German drugstore. This is the Trended Up Hydro Stay Foundation. And this looks very dark in the bottle. Like, this doesn't look like it's going to match me, but it's not as dark when it goes on. It looked very pretty, and I did really enjoy the formula so far. The cap is broken, though, from twisting it shut, because if you twist this tight enough, the cap breaks, which is not great. So I'm not sure how long this will last in my collection, but still reviewing it, so this is one I'm going to keep around. I will be decluttering the Essence Pretty Natural Foundation. This was discontinued, and I kept it around to have a Essence foundation I like around, but they now do this. And I've only used the skin tint once. This is brand new. Again, it looks super dark, but on my face, it looked really nice. It wore really well, and I think this is a really nice new product from Essence. I just need to test it out a bit more, but I do feel that this one can now go. Something that I still need to keep around for an overview of foundations I've tried, but that I know I will declutter by the time I film that, it's the Collection Hydrate Hydra Serum Foundation. This did not look good on my skin, even though the shade was pretty okay. We have the Evelyn Cosmetics Wonder Match, which I have yet to try, so that one is still something I want to review. The Stay With Me from Kruidvat. This looks really stunning and at first when it goes on, but because it has a matte texture, it doesn't look right on my skin, so this needs to go. However, I need to keep it around for that roundup review video. This is an instant declutter. This is too light for me, and it's full coverage, which I had just seen, hey, Essence is doing a new foundation, I want to try it, and I hadn't really looked at what it said on the bottle it was going to do, else I might have skipped it, but this is an instant declutter. Now this, I kind of already know what I'm going to do with this. I still need to review this, but this is very similar to that Makeup Revolution thing I got rid of. The brand, which is Kruidvat, which is a Dutch drugstore brand, calls this a skin tint, but this is a mousse foundation essentially, and it's too dark. So keeping it around for a future video, part of me doesn't even want to test this out anymore. And then we just have a couple of things that I loved. Let's just talk about that. So I have the Jones Road What the Foundation. Nobody likes this apart from me, it seems. I really enjoy mine. The House Labs did get a lot of hype, and I feel the hype is very much warranted. You do need to go in with fingers and a brush with this one, I feel, rather than a sponge to make it look its best. And similarly, the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation, I keep it in the box on top of my vanity so that it's nice and secure because the bottle shape is a bit weird, so I just keep it in the box. Love this foundation. This is the foundation that made me figure out how to best apply a foundation on my skin. I was using a beauty blender before this, but I've reverted to using fingers to spread it out and then blending it in with a brush ever since I tried this, and it's worked for every single foundation skin tint ever since. I have completely stopped using sponges as a result. Kiko Insta Moisture Glow. This is very, very pretty. I really enjoy this. This is the glowy version of the Insta Moisture foundation that I already knew I loved. So yeah, this is a very easy keep. And some other things that were like newer to me. The Unlimited foundation I still need to try from Kiko, so this is still in the to test phase. And then I have the CC Red Correct from Herborian in like a small baby size. I just wanted to try this. I saw this on someone on TikTok and was like, hey, that could be like a really nice one-stop shop. So still need to test this one out. And this I loved. I didn't expect to love it because so many people were saying how much they hated the scent, but I like my Kosas. Face oil. This has been discontinued though. They now have another like skin tint like product out, so would prefer to test this out. This was a little bit too dark for me, not gonna lie. And that brings me to the mother load. This is the big guy. We have a load of things in here that I sometimes haven't even used. So things I haven't even used, let me move it back just a little bit so that we have a bit of space here. You won't be able to see what I'm grabbing for, but these two I've bought, I've repurchased them, and I've never opened them. And they've been sitting in my collection for a year unopened. I just try too many things, so I don't need to repurchase things that I use up and love or that seem to have turned and then use it. Like these, I can still pass on to colleagues who have been asking me for things, so I think they might like this because a lot of my colleagues aren't avid makeup wearers, so foundations aren't their thing. And since these things are unopened, they are such an easy, like, passing on kind of thing. Same thing for the Beautiful Skin from Charlotte Tilbury. The reason I'm going to get rid of it for real this time is because I just love this Estee Lauder thing just as much in terms of formula, and the shade is just a lot better for me. I feel these products just all do the same thing, and this is just far too dark, so it's just time for it to go. I decluttered it last year, pulled it out because I was like, oh, I can't do it, but I just should. Another like 2B thing, the Urban Decay Hydromanic. I really like this. The shade is pretty good for me as well. I just haven't used it in a while. This is one I need to go back to. More tube things. The H&M one I'm getting rid of. It was really nice, but it has been discontinued. The Perfect Hydrating Foundation. It was a really nice shade. I liked it, but very lightly used. And then this one I like. This I really enjoy. This is the Healthy Mix Tinted Beautifier from Bourjois. I reviewed it, but with how much I have, I just need to get rid of this. Even though I do really like it. So this for now is going to go onto the maybe pile, because once I know what I'm actually keeping and getting rid of, I may want to keep this in, but I'm not entirely sure. I have two of these like tinted SPF products. The Tower 28 was my favorite. The Ultraviolet is too matte for me, and also just a little bit too yellow. It's just not the right undertone. And a shade down was far too light for me, so I wish they would do these kind of things in undertones. Not everybody is yellow, people. I keep saying that. And that was an expensive product as well. That kind of hurts me a little bit. Two very obvious keeps. If you've seen my K-Beauty BB cream trial I did over the summertime in 2023, these were my top two favorites, so these are not going to go. It's the Misha Choboyoung and the Perfect Cover BB creams. Shade 17, shade 21. I'm sort of in between the two. But I very often can get away with a 21, but a 17, if they do it, can be quite nice as well. 17 isn't always available in all brands, I feel. Another foundation I love the texture of, but that is simply too dark for me. This is the Light Illusion foundation from Flower Beauty in the shade Porcelain. There is a lighter shade available, but it never came out here, and we only got Flower Beauty for a hot minute during the pandemic, and they were gone really, really quickly as well. So that can be a declutter. This is the foundation from Charlotte Tilbury that I'd like to keep. This is the Light Wonder, so don't think that I'm decluttering all from the brand, just that I have found that this works better for me. Shade-wise, the way it lasts, this formula is far more revolutionary than the Beautiful Skin was. I have two products here by Maison. This is a K-Beauty brand. This Collagen Power Foundation looked very strange and powdery on my skin, plus it's weirdly dark. I did really enjoy the Snail Repair Intensive BB Cream though. This is again in shade 21. More K-Beauty things then. Of these, I think I'm going to be keeping the Numbers in because that one was a more successful one. This is sort of like the Heimish thing I kept in my primer section of this video because this is the kind of product where you can just use it to instead of foundation, but it can just be a primer, etc., etc. So that one, I want to keep one of those with my foundations as well. The Clio was a bit too pale for me, so that one I'm not going to keep. And then I have the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. I like this, but I don't like it as much as everybody else does. So this is going to go onto the maybe pile because I want to keep a couple of BB creams, and depending on what I'm keeping, this could be in the keep pile or it can go into the to-go pile. Two drugstore foundations I love, but that I know I can get rid of. The shades aren't the problem here, which is usually the reason for me to get rid of drugstore products, but it's the fact that these are a little bit older and have been replaced by other things in my collection. The Insta Moisture now comes in the Glow version, and I like that one so much better than I do this, so that's why the Kiko Insta Moisture. If you want a really good box standard everyday foundation, this is the one. It's really pretty. And then I have the Zoeva, which is really nice as well. This is very similar to the Anastasia Luminous Skin Foundation, but this was far cheaper and I like the shade better. It's just I haven't reached for this in such a long time that it's just time for it to go. Then these two BB creams I did like, but between the two, I like the Milky Piggy better than I do this one. This is from Jade, a Jade Beauty brand. I believe they're called Ishahan. It's nowhere on the packaging though, so I always forget. And this is by Eliza Vecca. This only comes in one shade, but the shade works really well for me, and I love the texture of this. So one can go, one I'm going to keep. I've got two Dior things. I think I just want to keep both of them. This is great for travel because it's really nice, handy packaging. and the Forever Natural Nude is just a really good shade match for me. So keeping both of those. If you saw my foundation collection video, you know I was umming and ahhing about getting rid of these, but I can't do it, you guys. The YSL All Hours and Touche Cloth foundations are just too pretty to get rid of. Now, remember that I said when I showed you the Estee Lauder that there are 2 to 3 foundations I'd like to keep up. The other one I want to use up this year is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. I love this product. It's just a product you can go through really quickly. So once I'm too pale for the Estee Lauder, I'm going to be switching up to this. This is in 1.5. And this is the Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani. This is also a really good shade match for me. Love both of these. Let's do like skin tint squeezy tube kind of things, because we have those right here. The Rare Beauty is my all-time favorite, so that's a very, very easy keep. And I love these two as well. Ooh. The Glossier Skin Tint and the Hema Base Skin Tint. This is another one that looks too dark for me. Like, look at the shade. But it sheers out beautifully and it matches my skin tone really well. I do think they're getting rid of it though. It's now €1 on the website, so it seems to be going down and down and down in price. So I don't think they'll bring it back. If you can't find this in store, I think it's actually gone. And the Glossier I love. The MAC one, I like. I really enjoy the texture. It's just I cannot find my shade in MAC foundations, it seems. It's just NW15 usually works, but the Studio Radiance Face and Body is in completely different shade names. And they matched me to shade N1 in store, and it looked okay. It's a touch too dark. So this is another maybe pile thing. I think I'm good when it comes to skin tints. So I don't think I need to keep it, and it's not my favorite because of that shade. Then I just have a bunch of drugstore things here. My favorite of the 4 is the Lumine, the Natural Glow, so that's a keep. And the other 3, I really enjoy the NYX. The NYX Born to Glow is the reason why I was like, you know what, the drugstore can do really good foundation, so I need to try some, because I haven't really tried any drugstore foundations in 2 years, so I went on this quest, and this I may just have to keep. I believe this has also been discontinued, but I love it too much. These two, like, this is such a classic. Who still remembers the hype that the Bourjois Healthy Mix got? But it's too yellow, so it needs to go. I love the texture, though. It's a really beautiful foundation. And then the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. Loved it. But it's too dark for me, so it needs to go. I have other skin tints that I just like better. And from the drugstore, this is my favorite skin tint that I have tried, the Catrice Tinted Serum in shade 004N. This is a much better shade match to me than some of the other things. So keeping that. And this I still need to review. This is the Kiko Nourishing Perfection Foundation. This looks too dark as well, but this sheers out really nicely. It's more like the shade in the middle when you put it on, so it seems to have a darker cast, and it comes with a little sponge thing. This is really nice, but I've only used it once or twice. I still need to really test it out. And then I have some K-Beauty things left. This is great for travel. Look at that mini size. It's by the same, it's their Studio Foundation. I don't remember the shade. It's shade 21. This is maybe pile, because I would reach for the Dior over this, because the Dior one is also long lasting, and it just, I don't know why, the Dior one can just deal with all kinds of situations, and this is perhaps a little bit too dewy for me. So even though it's great for travel because it's a mini size, I'm not sure I need to keep it. Both of these were beautiful on me. They are both by Holika Holika. This is their Water Drop Foundation, and this is the Petite Jelly BB. This looks gross. It has a little spatula, and then it looks like barf. I'm not gonna lie. Both of these were really pretty on though. This was perhaps a touch too dark. Ooh, let me see. What am I keeping? Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep these two. From the K-Beauty trial I did in 2023, because I did really like them. These are two, though, where I'm like, would I go back to them? With the other ones that I've kept, I know I want to go back to them and use them up at some point. But with these two, and now looking at my maybe pile, I kept this one in. I think I would be more inclined to use this up, because it's a little bit more unique in terms of texture than both of these. So I'm keeping the Purito. Both of these are like super like watery skin tint like products as well. And I have plenty of skin tints now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 from drugstore brands, 2 from high-end brands. So and I have the new one from Essence, and I have the Tower 28. So I think I have plenty. But I do like both of these. I think for now they're gonna stay. And then get rid of these 3, I think. This one's messy to use, so that can go for that reason. This was not the right shade. This was not the right shade. So I just need to be very honest with you. If things aren't the right shade, I don't want to keep them around. I just don't. Okay, so this has never ever happened that when I clear out my foundations that the Lisa Eldridge in its box can fit into this cubby. I do need to keep the Jones Road, like, because I want to keep it upright. I'm not going to put it in here. But yeah, it all fits into this one container, which I'm super happy with. Let's see how much we're getting rid of. Getting rid of 19 foundations, which I think is a pretty good number. So a couple of things I need to keep around for videos. 2 things I'm definitely going to toss because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I'm going to go through the other ones that I'm saying I'm getting rid of that are lightly used to give away to friends and family, colleagues mainly, I think. And then they can have a bit of fun with that. So yeah. That is everything. Those are all of the base products that I wanted to declutter. So thank you so very much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and stay tuned for more declutters because I will be doing one of these one a week. Next up I think is going to be cheeks with all of my blushes, bronzer, highlighters, and face palettes. So I hope you're here for it. See you in the next one, and I do make 4 other videos every single week. I do reviews over on the blog, and I have a second channel. So wherever you want to join me, I really hope to see you there. And then I hope you have a great day. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.